My dear people of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia, today is the 27th day of the month of July in the year of our Lord 2018. On this day, I'm bringing to us the special and very important message, which will be a serious eye-opener. An eye-opener because this message is drawn from a letter addressed by Dr. Simon Munzu to the President of the Republic of Cameroon, Mr. Paul Biya, on the 11th of July, 2018. And you already understand that the conference that is supposed to bring together all Anglophones, in quotes, I say Anglophones in quotes because that is how they called it within that document, which is purportedly called by the church in Southern Cameroons, is in fact a clear manipulation and a clear project of Dr. Simon Munzu in collaboration with the forces of repression, with the forces of oppression, with the manipulators from La République du Cameroun, and which to make it run down the throats of the people of Southern Cameroons, because they know that we are so God-fearing, that we are very attached to our church, that we are very attached to our God, and so we respect our people and men of God and women of God very well, and they know that in the past the white man used the church to deceive the people of Africa, because they actually called and continue to call Christianity the opium of the masses. So they felt that the best way to make us drink it is to get Dr. Munzu, Russell the Fox, as I prefer to call him henceforth, to go and bring together this men of God and pretend as if he was casting a brilliant idea through them and giving the church the opportunity to play this wonderful role of, finding a peaceful solution to the crisis rocking the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia in our relationship with La République du Cameroun. And so, because Dr. Munzu knows that the venerated Christian Cardinal Tumi has stood for justice all his life, that Reverend Babila Forchang and the imams and all of those people he brought together are people of valor and candor in our midst, are people who have demonstrated over the years that they cannot stand and see their people destroyed. And so they decided that the best way to push this evil pill down the throats of the people was to manipulate this venerated men of God and to hit them sensitively at the point where they know will be their very, very serious weakness. Yeah, a strength is generally exploited by the kingdom of darkness as a weakness. That is why today we notice that kindness is always very poorly rewarded. Now, today we notice that armed robbers disguise themselves as people in serious need to touch the Christ-like people, so that they go out there to go and help them. And as you go to offer a hand of help, they destroy you, they rob you, they either kill you, take away your car, take away your belongings and everything. That is exactly the kind of skullduggery that Simon Munzu set out to play with Mr. Paul Biya and his folks in Yaoundé. And so, once more, this letter is made available to us by our own very determined members of government in the government of La République du Cameroun, who have now decided to get out of sleep, to come out of slumber. I'm thanking God so seriously that the scales are falling off their eyes, and they have told themselves, we will no longer sit by and watch this evil continue to happen on our people. And so yesterday, we had a letter from one member of government. That letter that I presented to everyone here. Today, we have this letter by Dr. Munzu, thanks to the collaboration of 3 of them this time. Yesterday, it was one member of government. Today, there are 3 of them. I had the opportunity to have a little teleconference with all 3 last night to be very sure that they were all involved, that their names are not just being called to me in vain. But alas, they are They are determined, and they have told me, we are ready to go all the way. We will stand with the consortium. I'm repeating their words, but I draw their attention to the fact that it is not just the consortium today. Today we have a number of organizations, including the interim government, the AGC, the SCYL, the Republic of Ambazonia, Maurice, and all other organizations that are out here actively working very hard to make sure that we succeed in this endeavor. And these folks say they will, until the government of La République du Cameroon digs them out, they will continue to furnish us with every bit of information necessary to make us succeed. They repeated a clarion call for us to be a united folk, for us to forge a kind of unity and collaboration and work together as a team and make sure these evil things don't happen to our people, and make sure that the sacrifices of the people whom they have seen with their own eyes, from going to all the nooks and crannies of ground zero, both in the northern and southern zone, to try to convince people of this idea of us having our independence once and for all, and the people told them in their eyes and in their faces that it will not work, that they are determined to go with their children who have seen the light of day and who are now on the path of total freedom, not the path of perdition that they intended because of their personal designs to drag us into or to let us stay under forever. They also told me, John, you see 3 of us seated here. You know us all for having had at least at one time or the other to meet with us for one reason or the other. We are 3 of us. From the northern zone and from the southern zone. They actually said from the northwest and from the southwest. The fact that we are 3 of us in government, sitting before you here, talking to you, working together, is a clear sign that you people should forget about that divide. You people should kill disunity among yourselves and work as a group. So that all in all, our sacrifices that we are taking from within, because we know that once we are discovered, we will be killed. Because right now they are on the hunt. So you people honor our memory by coming together, close your ranks, work together, and ensure that we succeed. Because this time around, there's a clear window that we are going to succeed. This is the message that was handed to me alongside with this letter. And I know there are some people out there who quickly jump and say, what letter is he talking about? I hear myself a laughter. I know that Dr. Munzu should be somewhere right now watching this video, or that somebody will be sending it to him right away. And I want to cross-check notes with Dr. Munzu, who wrote this letter. Dr. Munzu, definitely your letter is 7 pages. The first 2 pages are an explanatory note attached to the letter, and the letter itself is 5 pages long. You wrote it both in French and in English. And I have both versions with me here. I'm not going to read the entire letter here because it's going to take us crazy time. I'm just going to make an economy of this letter. And the good news is that these members of government have granted the consortium the authorization to have this letter retyped and published in Word version, word verbatim. Give to every other source that wants to publish it, so that Southern Cameroonians will read for themselves the motivations behind this action by Dr. Munzu, and understand that we need to separate Dr. Munzu from the church and have business to do with Dr. Munzu and not with the church and not with the body of Christ, because the men of God who were brought into this thing were simply roped in without them knowing the details, the underpinnings of these things. And I'm sure and convinced that by the time the very venerated Christian Cardinal Tumi, Reverend Babila Forchang, see this, they would simply understand exactly what was just about to happen to them. We must give God the glory for stopping this net before it gets really ugly. On that note, I'll read the cover note, and then I will just take excerpts of the main letter. 11 July 2018. His Excellency Mr. Paul Biya, President of the Republic of Cameroon, Unity Palace, Yaoundé, Your Excellency. I have the honor, most respectfully, to submit for your kind consideration the attached document. In this document, I suggest that the Anglophone crisis that began in October 2016 needs to end now because of the negative impact that it has and the many threats that it poses for our country in view of the forthcoming presidential election of 7 October 2018 and other factors. I state why the administrative and military measures so far taken by the government, including the setting up of a National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism and the launching of an emergency humanitarian assistance program, have failed to end the crisis. The document offers some comments on the government's handling of the crisis, its option for a military solution to the crisis, and its decision to treat the separatist demand for the restoration of the independence of Southern Cameroon and the moderates' demand for the restoration of the federal arrangements of 1961 as one and the same thing. After reviewing the context of the Anglophone crisis and of the government's response to it, the document makes 5 practical recommendations to the head of state and the government as a pathway to addressing the Anglophone problem and ending the Anglophone crisis. I thank Your Excellency for your kind attention to this document, which I submit as a contribution to your search for a just and durable solution to the crisis with which our country is confronted. Sincerely, Dr. Simon Munzu, advocate and civil society leader, former Assistant Secretary General of the United Nations, telephone +237 695 256 460, email nupo@yahoo.co.uk. Dr. Munzu, I'm sure you are convinced now that it is actually your letter I have before me, that this is not a figment of anyone's imagination. I just read that particular out so that you, Dr. Munzu, and all those who are in government still thinking that they can play foul and seek with the determination of the people of Southern Cameroon and Bazonia to be free should know that the Lord that we serve, the God that we call, is actually the watchman of the nation of Ambazonia. That's why we say, the Most High God be the watchman of the nation. That said, I now get into the crux of the matter. So from that preamble, it's now clear to everyone that the objective of Dr. Munzu with this conference is not the interest of the people of Southern Cameroon and Bazonia. It is about the peaceful holding of Mr. Paul Biya's presidential election in Southern Cameroon and Bazonia. That is the objective. And when you look at the date on this letter, that's the 11th of July, and the date of the so-called convening of the All-General Anglophone Conference, of the Anglophone General Conference, as they call it, purportedly by the church, which is the 25th of July, it tells you that it took just 2 weeks or less for Mr. Paul Biya and all his état-major to study this document, to speedily grant the request of Dr. Munzu, to speedily give him all the assistance, and to dispatch an armada of manipulators to join him, so that together they think of how to unpackage this to the public. And that is how, in the end, they told themselves that there is one Christian Cardinal Tumi there who has integrity, that let us hide behind the independent, so-called independent civil society personalities to have this evil pill pushed down the throats of the people. That's how they now pushed Dr. Munzu, go and get these people, put them together and tell them stories, which he did. And in the end, they hurriedly signed it and say it is the church. They quote it as being the church convening this conference, and then it is the church now that is appointing Dr. Munzu. Oh, wow. How preposterous. This is a height of manipulation. But I thank God, because as long as I, MBAH AKUROH, am part of this revolution, as long as the people of Southern Cameroon in the overwhelming majority continue to be devoted and determined towards seeking their peace, towards seeking their total freedom of independence. As long as I continue enjoying the support of my colleagues of the consortium, and as long as the consortium remains in its objective to ensure that our struggle only ends with total freedom, no such evil is going to pass under our nostrils. As a people, we will overcome. We will continue to destroy the perpetrators of such evil plans. God is with us. That is why from day one, you notice that the slogan, the motto of the consortium, the slogan has always been, God is with us, because it is God that ordained the struggle and has carried it right up to this point. That is why even as we march ahead, and we know that the devil is doing everything to isolate from us our good people and present to us as bad, struggle to manipulate them, to use them against us, we must continue to hail all those who have put out or stuck out their heads to make sure that we get to where we are and that we are on the path to where we are going to. Let me get into that letter. And I will take just excess because, like I said, this letter will be sent out there. Yep, the consortium or members of the caretaker executive committee are working on this carefully, and we are going to send it out there. Now, Dr. Munzu says, after the issues is written, I'm not going through all of them, I'm just picking out little excerpts. He says, in view of the impact of the threats noted under paragraph 1 of the context above, the following measures are recommended to the head of state and the government with a view to addressing the Anglophone problem and ending the Anglophone crisis. He says, 1. The head of state should, in an address to the nation, declare the end of the military offensive in the 2 Anglophone regions and the withdrawal of the military contingents that were deployed there in connection with this offensive. He should announce the commencement of the implementation of the government's emergency humanitarian assistance program and put a credible, experienced, and well-respected personality drawn from civil society in charge of implementing it on behalf of the government and in collaboration with the international community. We can already see those people from the civil society. That is why our brother Magbara at one point denounced that some of the, the goods that the government intends to use to deceive our people were going to be passed through the Catholic Church, and that's somewhere already at the cathedral in Bamenda. Although there was a disclaimer, it's an indication that such plans are underway. The goods might not yet have reached the cathedral in Bamenda, they might not have reached our diocesan churches, but the government is actually still hatching out such a plan. 2. The head of state and government should endorse and support the plan of moderate Anglophones at home to organize a general conference of all Anglophones which will draw up a list of issues to be examined in a dialogue with the government on the Anglophone problem and select the representatives of the people of the Northwest and Southwest regions at that dialogue. This general conference will be open to all Anglophones, including the separatists. Consequently, conditions should be created for persons currently in prison or on exile and for the internally displaced and refugees to attend and participate in the general conference. Separation and or independence will be shown at this conference to be the demand of a vocal minority compared to Anglophones who want to maintain the unity of Cameroon while securing autonomous rule for the 2 Anglophone regions. The head of state and the government should endorse and encourage the efforts of the moderate Anglophones ahead of the Anglophone General Conference to conduct a public information campaign on radio, television, in newspapers, and on social media aimed at demonstrating that the separatist agenda is an illusion that should not be adhered to by the people of the Southwest and Northwest regions. This would enable the separatists to be isolated at home and abroad, and thus reduce the influence that they enjoy now among a poorly informed and misguided population. I want to die of laughter here. Dr. Munzu, did you watch the images of the people of the Southern Cameroon on the 22nd of September 2017? Did you see the millions of people, old and young, boys and girls, men and women, come out in all the nooks and crannies of Southern Cameroon to show to the world that they adhere to the total independence of the Southern Cameroon and Bazonia? You didn't see? You believe that it is a spin in some private, what I call conference room and all under in Boya that is going to reverse the tides? Dr. Munzu, I think you need a rethink. I definitely think you need a rethink. After the cessation of the military offensive, the commencement of the implementation of the humanitarian assistance program and the General Conference of Anglophones, the head of state should visit the 2 Anglophone regions. During the visit, he should announce the convening of a national dialogue on the Anglophone problem. The head of state may wish, before doing this, to have a closed working meeting with a limited number of moderate Anglophones drawn from the civil society to discuss and adopt a strategy for the way forward. And then, lastly, Dr. Munzu posits, the aim should be to complete the course of action recommended in this note well before the official opening of the campaign period for the presidential election of 7 October 2018. So does it leave anybody in doubt again that that conference is mainly to pave the way for Mr. Paul Biya and his friends, Dr. Munzu, and others to hold their elections in Southern Cameroon in peace? So our interest is not taken into consideration. We don't matter. Dr. Munzu says this meeting is open. He deceives Christian Cardinal Tumi. He deceives Reverend Babila Forchang and others to believe that it's an open meeting where everybody will come and all voices will be heard. Whereas in the CPDM approach, the resolutions have already been drawn. The names of those who are supposed to be chosen from there to be the representatives of the people of Southern Cameroon in a national dialogue to be convened by Mr. Paul Biya, the names have already been written down. Everything is said. At least this is what these ministers who brought this document to me revealed to me and asked me to tell everyone. So anybody who is thinking that there's something good that's supposed to come from such a conference, unadvise yourself very fast. And I'm by this opportunity calling on the most venerated Christian Cardinal Tumi, calling on the Right Reverend Babila Forchang, calling on the Imam of Amenda and all of those who put their signatures on that document to reconsider your stance the fastest possible, because it is now very evident to you that you have been manipulated. When Satan went into the Garden of Eden, his intention was not the interest of Adam and Eve. It was their destruction. Of course, the evidence is here today. So when Dr. Munzu rushed to the body of Christ, his intention was not the interest of the church, the interest of the people of God. His interest was to use the church, to discredit the church, to destroy it. Because Mr. Paul Biya has destroyed every single functional institution in Cameroon. And so the only left is the church in Southern Cameroon that has demonstrated marked integrity over time. Even though some few features were noticed here and there, but the church had by and large stood clear from this. And now, Mr. Paul Biya told himself, if I succeed in taking off the last vestige, then we are going to be on the path to success. And that is why, this is another revelation given to me by the ministers, that is why the security forces are out there to kill some of those men of God who were likely to stand on the way of the holding of this conference, to stand on the way of the full involvement of the church in the holding of this conference. We have 2 priests already gone. There are others on the line. I have been advised to urge our priests to understand that a good lot of them who have been clearly outspoken and who have made their stance clear in this struggle should wash their backs, because the security forces are after them because of this evil conference. My dear country people, I go talk to you just very short, but I go do another audio for Pidgin English fully, so that make I explain this letter, can make all money, make all country people them understand. But which I want make country people understand very fast for this one right now. Now say that meeting for Boya, where they say na Christian Cardinal Tumi, na Pa Babila for Chang, na the Imam for Bamenda, all those others say that then call that conference, then appoint Dr. Munzu as the main organizer, na lie. Cardinal Tumi, Babila for Chang, Pa Babila for Chang, all these people, they signed that document, but they lied them. Mr. Munzu go fool them. Say that conference na for fix with problem. Whereas that conference, Mr. Munzu go fix it for back with poor, they are fine. Say make they use church because they know say we too like with church. They know say we too like God. They know say we too respect with people of God. We too respect with father them. We too respect with pastor them. So if they pass through them like we go easily fall for that trap. Country people, make no man no carry in mud crush any of women and women of God them. Not even one. The fool then are full of. And thank God say this one don't come out now so for public. And no. Say, Pa Babila for Chang, where as Sadiam. Pa Babila for Chang, where you look me. Never Babila for Chang, you look my face, you recognize me, you know me fine. You be the coming to me for CRTV, for national station. The early days when I just started, where I do CRTV Express, you come for morning, for can do meditation. You come, yes, for can do Christian meditation. We be the meet, we know each other. We share a lot with you, and I know your integrity will be in you. I know so you be a man of God. I know so you not fit fall inside this woo trap. Look at error. The same thing I talk for Christian Cardinal Tumi. I don't meet with you a number of times, do even interviews. The very last time we will be meet, it will be now for Yaoundé, for that place where they bury, for that place where they bury Monseigneur Jean Zoua. But they will get a big conference where you bring people there from church leaders there from other countries. It just be 2 days where Batonye Bakot will get accident. Now that time we will be meet up. And I know, say you be proper man where you get heart for your people. Stand clear from this thing. I want to end this one with a small pineapple monasia. Oh man no say when la piro de banga, but you open a mop talk so hey, all Cameroon they stand at Akimbo. No money they shake again. That time when La Piro be say La Piro they can say all man they come out, so tell them or they come out, all come out all kind of side. When Mr. Pobia be ready, say he be one fight Villemort, go stand for that time. What if he do? He be say, I go look now who will get popularity, fine, I take a user me. They go call Pa Bendeka, they go call Pa La Piro de Banga. Pa Bendeka last minute, he wise them, he boom. La Piro de Banga carry remote can't answer. No, me I talk against him, but that way La Piro de Banga finish. This government do it. They abandon it. After they turn, catch them, lock them for prison. They don't manage come out. They don't come for America. They choke sick for on top. He can die. Now the same thing that government go do for every person we equal and use them. Now evil government. They don't ever get no my interest at heart. They go look person where they know so we respect them. They can't catch and say yes. Now you way we go use them. No, we don't say no, Mr. Pobia. Enough is enough. This letter that go gear out because the BB people there for consortium, they don't give authorization since we that minister them. Because there's on 3 minister them. We the day for Mr. BI government. The 3 minister they come out from northern zone and from southern zone. The one day they come out like they call out for that side, southwest and northwest, they put themselves together, then 3 they shit down, they call me, will get video call, make us see their face, be sure saying for them way at the talk, and say make we use that one as example for inside the struggle, for unite, for work like one man, for fight so they go win, because they said they don't see inside say they don't come meet up una for try for talk lie, use all kind of manipulation, make and make una abandon the struggle, una so stand for the struggle. So they say they don't last. They see and say that thing way all we stand for na correcting. So they don't agree. But they no go come out for public, make they not kill them quick. If I may they remain for inside, continue for give you information, more use them for destroy the evil plans where you own they get them. They where they go come out officially join we. By the time they want come for can join we, now we just kind of some we just finish the thing one time. We just cross, we go enter for Boya. We start to the dance. Say, hey, we don't win Haka, we don't win Tepe, we don't win Haka, we don't win Keshe, we don't win Chege. God they with we.